if your cat has been trying to warn you this whole time and you just never noticed? Because here's the thing that most people completely overlook about their cats. These animals are walking, purring early warning systems, and the science behind how they pull this off is genuinely mind-blowing. Today we are going to break down exactly how cats sense danger before it even arrives, and by the end of this video, you are going to look at your cat in a completely different way. Let's start with something that will immediately reframe how you think about your pet. Your cat is not just a cute companion sitting on your couch, it is an apex predator that spent millions of years evolving in environments where missing a single signal meant death. Every single sensory system in that animal has been honed to perfection. And those systems did not disappear just because your cat now lives in an apartment with heated floors and subscription box toys. They are fully operational, running constantly in the background, processing information that you and I cannot even begin to detect. So let us start with the ears, because honestly, this is where things get wild. A cat has 32 individual muscles controlling each ear. You have six. That means your cat can rotate each ear independently, like tiny satellite dishes scanning the environment in real time. They can hear frequencies ranging from 48 hertz all the way up to 85 kilohertz. To put that in perspective, humans top out at around 20 kilohertz. That upper range your cat can hear includes the ultrasonic communications of rodents, the high-pitched sounds of structural stress in buildings, and potentially even some of the acoustic signals that precede certain natural events like earthquakes. So when your cat suddenly sits up rigid and stares at nothing, it is almost certainly hearing something you are completely deaf to. Now let us talk about the nose. Your cat has around 200 million scent receptors. You have about 5 million. That is 40 times the olfactory power packed into that tiny pink nose. Cats use this incredible sense of smell to detect changes in the chemical environment around them. Animals under stress release specific pheromones and chemical signals. Changes in air pressure from incoming storms alter the molecular composition of the air itself. Predators leave scent trails that linger long after they have passed through. Your cat is picking up all of this information simultaneously and cross-referencing it with everything else it is sensing. It is essentially running a constant chemical analysis of its surroundings without even trying. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Cats have something called the Jacobson's organ, also known as the vomeronasal organ, located in the roof of their mouth. When you see your cat do that strange open mouth expression that looks almost like he near, that is called the Feline response. They are actually pulling air over this organ to analyze chemical information in extraordinary detail. This is a completely separate sensory system dedicated entirely to detecting specific chemical signals in the environment. It is like having a second nose that specializes in reading molecular messages. Now let's move to something that seems almost supernatural, but is grounded in hard physics. Your cat's whiskers are not just facial decoration. They are extraordinarily sensitive mechanoreceptors. Each whisker is embedded deep into a follicle packed with nerve endings, and they can detect incredibly subtle changes in air currents. We are talking about vibrations and pressure changes that are completely imperceptible to human skin. When air pressure shifts before a storm, when something is moving in an adjacent room, when the vibration signature of the environment changes, your cat's whiskers register all of it. They also have whiskers on their legs, often overlooked by most people, which help them sense ground vibrations as they move. Speaking of ground vibrations, this brings us to one of the most discussed aspects of cat danger sensing. Cats have been observed becoming agitated, restless, or behaving strangely in the hours before earthquakes. Scientists studying this phenomenon believe cats may be detecting the P waves that precede the more destructive seismic waves, or they may be sensing the subtle ground vibrations, electromagnetic changes, or even the release of gases from stressed rock formations deep underground. This is not folk mythology. There are documented cases, and researchers continue to investigate this area seriously. And then there is the cat's vision. Their eyes contain a much higher ratio of rod cells to cone cells compared to humans. Rod cells are responsible for detecting motion and functioning in low light conditions. This means your cat can spot the slightest movement in near darkness with a precision that would seem almost impossible to you. They can detect a mouse moving at incredible distances in conditions where you would see nothing at all. That reflective layer behind the retina, called the tapetum lucidum, is what causes the glowing eye effect in the dark, and it essentially doubles the available light for their rod cells to process. Danger rarely gets to sneak up on an animal that can see like this. There is also a behavioral dimension to all of this that is worth understanding. Cats are deeply attuned to routine and pattern. They learn the specific rhythms of their environment with incredible precision. They know when you usually get home, when certain noises occur, when everything is normal. This means that any deviation from the established pattern, no matter how subtle, registers immediately as a potential threat requiring investigation. They are not just sensing physical stimuli, they are constantly comparing incoming data against an internal model of how things should be. Now consider all of these systems working together simultaneously. The ears scanning for ultrasonic frequencies, the nose analyzing chemical compositions, the Jacobson's organ reading molecular signals, the whiskers detecting air and ground vibrations, the eyes processing motion in near darkness, the behavioral pattern recognition system flagging environmental anomalies. Your cat is running all of these processes at once, all the time, every single day. So the next time your cat suddenly becomes tense, stares at a corner of the room, or starts acting restless for no apparent reason, take a moment to respect what is actually happening. That animal is not being weird. It is doing something you fundamentally cannot do. It is reading the world at a resolution your senses were simply never built to access. Cats do not sense danger because of magic or mystery. They sense it because evolution spent millions of years building them into something extraordinary. And if you pay close enough attention to them, sometimes they might just be looking out for you too.